Okay. I'm Katie Crenshaw, and I'm Radius's social media manager. And I have about a decade experience with social media marketing. And I do these rooms twice a month. One is always on a specific topic, like today, and then the other one is an open forum, like Q&A. I'm very excited that we have like chat capabilities and we can do all that. Um, this today is kicking off kind of a series that I'm going to do quarterly. It's a social media mastermind, but I'm going to be talking about creating content based on the calendar quarter that we're starting. So for now, we are going to talk about like kind of kicking off Q1. Um, and even though like quarters are most often, used when talking about like financial things, I find that it's a great way to also break up the year kind of like seasonally, especially when you're planning things like content. So, planning content quarterly for me is kind of just like a good strategy, especially when I was an entrepreneur. It was helpful to kind of block out those subjects and things that you want to be thinking about at certain times of the year. Um, excuse me. So, like as real estate professionals, you know that things are always changing. The market, every quarter has different holidays and benchmarks and challenges, opportunities, all different things. The first quarter is obviously January to March, and this is kind of like the quarter that sets the tone for the entire year and brings. I don't know. I like to look at it personally and professionally as just kind of like the fresh start, the blank slate, all those things, like most people. Um, so creating an effective social media strategy, taking all those things into account. I just wanted to share some ideas I have for agents during the next few months, things that may be helpful to you as you start to block out time to create content. And obviously, this is recorded. You can access this later. And if you ever have any follow up questions, like feel free to email me and let me know. Also, feel free to come to the Q&A in a couple weeks and bring questions there. Um, so yeah, we're dealing with like the aftermath of the holidays, the impact of winter, depending on where you live. I know a lot of people are in California, so maybe not so much impacted by winter. And then like new financial cycles. We're approaching tax season. I know that a lot of buyers and sellers are like, they put aside those things during Q4 of the previous year, and now they're starting to look at what they can do this year, especially the market. So I think that this is a great time to talk about the market. I'm kind of skipping around here, but especially because there's so much volatility in the market lately. And I'm finding through a lot of the stuff I'm reading that consumers, buyers and sellers, are valuing accounts and businesses that are updating them on those fluctuations kind of frequently. So, jumping around just a little, I will say that market trends, I feel like, is something that, even though you talk about it all year, probably Q1 of 2024, I think is a good time to have some content around the market. And what is expected. There's a lot of good articles out right now about like what experts think the market is doing. I know there's a lot of predictions that it's going to get better this year, all those things. So buyers and sellers also want to know about that, just like you do. If you're in the Radius community, we post news of the day every day, and I post that myself. So I'm looking through a lot of news every day, and there's tons of stuff you can link to in stories and things like that to educate your audience. At the end of the day, like my spiel every time for social media marketing is, um, in order to build a following, build authority in your space, you want to stick to the 3 E's to provide value, which are like entertainment, education, and empathizing. So like if we're talking about the market, you can educate by saying, here are 5 predictions for the market in 2024, and then link to your source. Or, um, 5 ways the market, I don't know. I lost that prompt. But you can do all kinds of different things with like that as an example. Also, you can, you know, it's not hard. Stories are great for engagement as far as like the difference between like in feed, static images, and videos. Stories are great for engagement. You can add polls and things like that. So it's a great way to also kind of measure your audience and see what they're looking at going into the new year. And market trends is definitely one of those. Obviously, social media strategy like should vary by quarter because certain things have different impacts throughout the years. There's a lot of seasonality differences and stuff. So again, Q1 will be great for talking about that kind of thing. Another topic, kind of to circle around like resolutions, new year, new me type vibe. You can do like new year, new home, which is kind of an umbrella way to create content around encouraging buyers and sellers to take a look at what they want to do this year. Like, what are their real estate goals? And you can provide tips on that, like how to achieve those goals, and those kind of things. So new year, new home. Also, I can bullet point this out, Ela, and like email this to whoever's in the room.
Absolutely. I'll send out like a follow-up regardless. And so if you want to send me over some bullet points and things like that,
Yeah, I can
we'll get that out to you guys.
yeah, I'll just send like a brief kind of high level what I talked about. So if you miss something, don't worry, I will send that over. So so new year, new home, encourage your followers to talk about their home related resolutions essentially in different ways. And you can do that in a million different ways, obviously, depending on what platforms you're focusing on, what types of content you're focusing on. That can go a lot of different ways. Depending again on where you live and how the weather is there, home maintenance tips are awesome to share. So, like, and this is kind of, this could vary based on the season or the quarter as well. Winter home maintenance tips in general. And then, you could just change that every quarter. Preparing your home for the season. If you have a vacant home you're trying to sell, like what you should keep in mind there, that kind of thing. So, I guess highlighting the importance of like weather and property maintenance during colder months, if that is something that is applicable to where you live. It may be cool to highlight winter-friendly features of listings. So if you have properties that have fireplaces or heated floors or hot tubs, it could be you could create a series where every week you talk about some really cool winter-related feature of a property that you have listed or that you just sold even. Because at the end of the day, like people, they don't care like just that you sold a property. Like they're not interested in your grid or your feed looking like a self-promotional billboard. Nobody is interested in that. They want to benefit in some way by being educated or entertained or understood in some way. So this could be a creative way to even showcase like what you've just sold or what you have on the market by talking about these interesting features.
Going off the features too, Katie, I think it'd be really cool to see agents that can showcase different features of the home and be like, oh, wouldn't it be really cool to like envision your place in a house here, or like envision yourself in a house like in the woods, or like I don't know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, there's so many. Yeah,
paint a picture of like putting the client and allowing them to picture themselves in this home and like personalize and personify a lot of the different features, because being able to create and craft that experience through social media too is going to pique people's attention and their interest.
Definitely. And even like simple things like, you know, let's say I have all these different videos, like I should do one of these just on like repurposing content, but like let's say I have a ton of clips in my camera roll from virtual open houses, and like, okay, it's winter. Let me go back through and find where I have small clips of like a fireplace and a hot tub and like, you know, winter based whatever, like as an example. You can just string those together and just put text over it that says like mentally I'm here, and add your reel music and you have a whole reel. And it's very like winter themed or something like that. So like you can always look back at stuff you already have, and just kind of like invent something that works for the seasonality that we're in. Local things. So I always talk about how important it is to designate yourself a local expert as a real estate agent on social media. That, you know, again, you want to give people a reason to follow you and a reason to remember your name when they are in the market, even if they're not right now, to buy or sell. And local expertise is one of the best ways to do that. Sharing what's going on, local winter events, festivals, activities, community, you know, philanthropy opportunities that may be happening seasonally. You know, all of those things are great for connecting with the local community and making yourself a resource for people who are looking for those things. And you know, that's like really high value. That's stuff that people will follow for because they want to see that stuff regardless of if they want to buy a house right now or this year. Yeah. So winter specific things of that nature. Again, this is kind of like similar to winter features of properties, but like spotlight on like cozy nooks or like fresh home offices that are, you know, clean and organized for the new year and ready to go. Like keep the mental focus on like, you know, it's the first quarter of the year. We're starting over. We're starting fresh. We're decluttering, like all the things everybody's already doing, and think about how you can showcase what you already have as an agent, you know, in that lane. Any kind of properties that have cool spaces of that nature would be awesome. Again, semi-related to that, I love following real estate agents that talk about like decor inspiration. I know everybody's not like that, but we do know that women are scrolling social media more than men typically, and we love decor posts and influencers. So I think it's cool to talk about like winter home decor and winter staging, and you know, how you may choose to you know, what you should do with landscaping this time of year or whatever. All really good ideas, as well as for like the aesthetics of listings. Again, winter real estate market trends. I mentioned this up front because I think this is a really good time to talk about this. Giving insights into the current trends, and what's like predicted to happen, even the analysis of last year. I know a lot of people, especially millennials, are watching the market for like rates to drop low enough to feel like they can buy a house and those kinds of things. And again, like in our, like if you need more information on that kind of stuff, Loan Desk posts in the Radius community as well. We have some different rooms on mortgage and the market and things like that happening all the time. So we can also help educate there as well. Are there any questions so far?
Yeah, and feel free, if whatever questions that you guys may have, if you want to drop those into the chat as well too. And so then while Katie is going through and talking about content ideas, now would be a great time to pick her brain. She won't shamelessly self-promote, but I will on her behalf. And so Katie is an incredible influencer. She's built her entire own platform and everything. So as far as like building that organic audience, she is definitely the person to go to. And so any questions that you may have as far as building an audience, finding ways to connect and relate to your audience, especially, you know, right off the bat, building that social trust and potentially even using social media to scout for leads. All good things, and all potential questions to ask her as well. So.
Thank you. Yeah, and I'll leave a few minutes at the end too for like random whatever questions you have. So yeah, another thing you can do is talk about past Q1 successes or stories or sales. You can always like do throwback Thursdays or flashback Fridays or whatever to talk about cool things that happened in previous Q1 times with your business. It's also, I know that there can be some concern that this is a slow time of year, and while we all wish we could hibernate, we don't actually want to, and we want to keep showing our audience that we have a good track record this time of year. And you can build confidence that way by talking about everything you're doing and everything you have done during the winter months. So you can also do, this is kind of like in the same lane of some of the other things with interiors. You can do like video, virtual tours, emphasizing winter appeal, create virtual tours that, show the winter appeal of a certain property. And honestly, if you do live in a place where the weather is amazing during the winter, that is also, for people who are looking to relocate and things that are looking ahead at, like, let's say I live in Wisconsin and I'm looking for California realtors. I'm looking at their grids to see, who's the local expert and who seems like they're doing everything right. Their virtual tours explaining that it's January and their house is in direct sunlight and there's beautiful foliage. Like that is also amazing. Even if it's not like a snowy, winter wonderland, that could also be appealing. So just wherever you are, basing it around that would completely work. General tips for buying and selling in the first quarter. Concerns or advantages associated with the time of year. Also, like tips, education, like bite-sized, just, talk to me like I'm 5 kind of information is always really great to build that authority and designate yourself as an expert.
Going off of that, you want to, if you're able to, especially through social media, you want to position yourself as somebody that the people around you trust to go to for information, because that in and of itself is kind of the basic foundation of any realtor buyer or seller foundational relationship. That's something that you always want to be looking out for. Right now, in terms of current events, there's always something that you can stay educated on in order to post about or bring awareness to on social media, because not only is that making you look more knowledgeable as an agent, but also, like Katie said, it's building that authority, it's building that credibility, it's building that trust that you are somebody that people can rely on. And then when you get business from it, you can continue to prove that throughout each part of the transaction. So really, really important to emphasize that.
Yeah, it's also like really important to remember that creating seasonal content is like, if you do this year, then next year in Q1, you'll already have a lot of content that you can recycle. I'm big on repurposing and recycling content. People forget what you said a month ago pretty quickly. So there's evergreen content, which is content that can be shared anytime, all the time. And then seasonal content you can absolutely reuse next year in Q1. Or whatever the season is, which is really nice as well. As long as you make sure you organize it and you have it ready to go, like it can really help you future you. Yeah, so we try to quickly get through the rest of these little ideas. Winter home safety tips. This is self-explanatory, making sure you're not at risk for carbon monoxide leaks and making sure you have all the alarms, smoke alarms, and if you're in a place that, to talk about ice and snow issues, just safety tips, always good. Spring preview listings is the next one. You can give a sneak peek of what you have upcoming. Um, trying to build excitement for spring and what's coming there. We're approaching tax season. This is a really good time to give like really basic, low level information, tips on how, like real estate transactions and taxes. Whether you're a buyer or a seller, it's pretty easy to just kind of get some of those simple tips and create graphics, or even like go on video and just talk them out to people in a reel. Talk about deductions, considerations, whatever you can. But Q1 also means taxes, and everybody always has questions about taxes. Again, market predictions, local market updates and statistics. So kind of taking the market information and drilling it down locally, sharing what your local market is looking like, because it's different everywhere, obviously, and talk about what kind of inventory and, average sales and things like that are looking like in your city. Client testimonials are always good. From a Q1 standpoint, you can use client testimonials that were from successful Q1 transactions, or, just in general, it's always good to highlight client testimonials and success stories in that way. If you do any talking about renovation or remodeling for winter, you can talk about that. You can talk about winter renovation projects or before and afters if you have any of those. I kind of briefly touched on like the local charity philanthropy type opportunities, but when talking about local events and what's going on in your own community, sharing what you're doing to give back is always great. I know a lot of people want to see that when they're choosing who to work with. And obviously it also helps you to be involved in your community because it helps to network and kind of get to know people word of mouth. So quickly,
It's also a great way. Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say it's also a great way to really cement yourself as like a notable member of that community too, because you get to meet with a lot of influential people. Often you'll meet like local officials who have office positions for your local government there. They tend to be involved in a lot of philanthropic efforts. And kind of going off of that too, Katie had mentioned like showing local events and things like that. Even just like sharing pictures of things that you're already doing within your local community, whether it's like going to a really fun restaurant or going somewhere like in nature that is a really great feature of your community, showcasing what it's like to live in the community and the markets that you guys are serving is only going to be an added bonus too, because that is one, not a lot of effort for you guys on the creation side to get that content because it's something that you're already doing. But two, it also works in your favor because clients will see that and be like, oh, that's really cool. Oh, it's wintertime and I want to be somewhere where it snows a lot. I get to see a lot of cool shots of people that are skiing or snowboarding. Whatever the case may be. So really just sharing those additional and occasional photos from your own lives where you guys are doing something really cool or something really special can be that kind of additional layer of building trust as somebody who knows a lot about their market and their community and what the best things to do and where the best places to go are.
Yeah. And you can always do Q&As with your audience. Like you can always, especially if you already have like some sort of audience established, you can always like ask them what they want to see this year more, what they want to see more of this year, what they're looking for, that kind of thing. Like always gauge your audience, always look at, your analytics to see what content is resonating the most. Yeah. So we got 5 more minutes. So if you guys have any questions about anything at all, I'm going to open it up for that.
Hey, I'm Derek. I just want to introduce myself to everybody. I'm a brand new Radius agent. I was onboarded yesterday, actually.
Amazing.
I've got 20 years of marketing experience at the executive level. I know social media. I'm not an expert by any means, but I have some high level stuff that I used to share with my agents that I just wanted to kind of pass down to the group. And then feel free to poo-poo what I'm saying, because this is your show, not my show.
No, I love it.
I just want to contribuute. So the biggest thing.
First and foremost, can I just say, welcome, Derek.
Thank you.
Welcome to Radius.
Bursting on the scene.
I know. I was gonna say, hi, I'm Ela. I am Radius's community manager. So I am your point of contact for anything within the community as far as Radius Rooms goes, which is what part of the platform that we're in right now. If you have any content or any questions or anything like that, feel free to shoot me a message. I'm here to make myself available to you. So
appreciate that. All good stuff that I heard, by the way, Katie. My biggest thing that I always tell agents is the separate accounts. Like, I've got my personal, I have my real estate. I think it's a gigantic waste of time and effort, because no one's going to follow your real estate specific. You're going to just post all of your stuff about real estate. No one's going to see what you're doing. I treat social like my reality TV show. And I pepper in my real estate into my personal stuff, like ads during my TV program. So people are watching the Derek May Real World, and then I'm putting my real estate stuff in there, like Pepsi or Coke, right? So the 2 accounts thing is a colossal waste of time. I'm sorry if you said do that in the beginning, and I'm just like writing over what you said.
No.
But I think that's a colossal waste of time. The second thing for me is, I follow lenders, or I work with a lender who does the whole like podcast headset sound bites of interest rates and like this kind of stuff. And I'll reshare their reels for them. So it gives like the rates and the economical things real time. And they've already spent the time to engineer that and the money to make sure it like looks good. They look good. It pinpoints you as the expert. You don't have to come up with it. You don't have to film yourself. You just share your mortgage partner or one that you trust, and it adds content and validity to you, right? The other thing that I recommend are 2 tools that I use. One is #expert. I download that from the app store, #expert, and it'll give you like widely searched and popular hashtags for a topic. So you can just put in a topic of like lending or interest rates or whatever stuff that is, and it'll give you 30 hashtags, so you can add it to your post to ensure that people are actually finding you. Because it's one thing to post content, it's another thing to be found. So if you're going to do the work, make sure that it's being found, right? And the other thing that I like is the website Unsplash for different moody like stock photography. So if you want to do like a cozy setting for like, hey, it's a great time to be by your fireplace. Have you cleaned it lately? Whatever kind of stuff that goes in tune with the winter time. There's a bunch of cool moody photography that's free on there that isn't like super overused everywhere. And again, it's called Unsplash, unsplash.com. And so those are just a couple things I wanted to add to everybody. And just treat your social media like your everyday thing, and just pepper in the real estate stuff. And give yourself credit whenever you go to an open house, or you're holding an open house, or you have a new listing. Why not show a reel? If you're going to go look at a property, or out on broker preview, or you're doing this or that, show you're busy. Don't overthink the room and think this isn't the coolest content or whatever. It's relevant. It shows that you're busy. It adds, again, validity to you being an agent and that you're busy, and people will see that enough and be like, oh yeah, Derek's really busy. I just saw him in a house yesterday. Not my listing. I was out on broker preview, but I went ahead and I filmed it as a reel to show that, I'm in the field. I'm looking at homes. The home looks cool. It's like, Derek just looked at a cool house. Derek's cool. Derek has cool houses. Whatever they want to surmise on their own. I'm just out there pushing content. So give yourself credit whenever you're doing work. You're already doing the work. Why not document it? So those are all my
absolutely. And in the influencer world, we say everything is content. Everything is content. Awesome.
I'm on mute. I love that. Well, thank you so much, Katie. As always, it is really great to have you here in rooms with us. And so, you, Jacob.
Yeah, Derek, you should do a room. You
I
can.
was,
Yeah, you talked to
you-
Anna about it, but you should totally host a room with all that marketing experience.
I'm here for all of it, and everybody knows that. And I'm meeting CEO Bijou on Friday, and Sam,
Awesome.
I'm
He's the
talking to Sam
best.
today this at 4. So I'm going to be saying use me as much as you guys want to add content and engagement and expertise, and I'm here to collaborate. That's all.
Brilliant.
Him
I'm
back with
so
a
glad
good
you
time.
said that. I will be knocking on your door.
Please.
tomorrow.
Please, my butt's in this chair to work at this company and to build stuff with you guys. So
Awesome.
excuse
Thank
me.
you, Derek.
Love to hear that. All right. So we have rooms throughout the week, every week. And so we're always sharing fresh new content. So anytime that you guys want to hop in and join us, feel free to do so. But I hope everyone has a great rest of their Wednesday, and we'll see you guys in rooms next time.
Bye, guys.
Bye.